Yo, 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 good morning, what it do, my beautiful people. It's your man AC Star, and it's the AC Star Morning Show. I want to welcome you to episode 13, Talk to Him Tuesday. What's good, people? It's your boy. I'm just in here, want to chop it up with y'all a little bit. You know, nothing heavy, nothing heavy. Talk to Him Tuesday. I'm going to just talk a little bit about some things that's going on in the political world and maybe some other things, some current event things. But first and foremost, I want to say good morning to everybody. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. You know what I'm saying? Hope you woke up on the good side of the motherfucking sunshine and everything is good in your life and you're trying to make a positive move and you're trying to do some big things in your life. So, yo, if you're joining me, I would like to thank you for joining me. And, yo, let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about the ARP. And the ARP is the American the rescue plan, right? That's Biden's new peace. Maurice Stoke, thanks for coming through, bro. One love, big bro, to my man Maurice. Yo, you had me cracking up, yo. You're pro. I know, bro. Let me how do I do that, Mo? Like, do I go back into the show or do I go into how do I do that? Do I go into the show and look for it, or do I go on like some kind of board to look for it? Like, how do I do that? Peace, Antea. Good morning, EP. Good morning, my love. How do I do that, Mo? Like, Mo, matter of fact, I'm going to come, like, if you can send me something, tell me how to do that, bro. I'll come over tonight. I ain't going to cause no problems. Just teach me how to do that, all right? And I need to learn how to do that. So, yo, I wanted to talk about, community tab. Okay. All right, so go into the community tab and click it. All right, I got you. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done with this show, bro. I'm going to get you up. I'm going to get that up out of there. I don't know who did that. You know how they be playing over here sometimes. But, yo, I wanted to talk about the Biden's American Rescue Plan that was just passed earlier today or yesterday by the House Committee Budget 16 and 19. So this will be what we would consider our third phase in the stimulus. Peace, Tim Harvey. Good morning, bro. Thanks for coming through. Please, everybody, if y'all can, the folks that are here now, if you can do your boy a favor and just hit that likes and subscribe button and let me know, you know what I'm saying, and let the world know AC Star is live. And I'm rocking right now. And please also check out, I do have the merch stream at the bottom, and then I'll throw my Cash App up later, you know what I mean, so you can support the channel so we can grow and get big, and, you know, we can have some conversations over here and be on our thing, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, yeah, so I wanted to talk about that because, you know, with the economic times that we have right now, you know what I mean, the numbers are not looking good. The only place that's really doing good is the stock market, and then they're having their, you know, adjustment period to where people are trying to, you know, become the titans of that market and change the power structure as far as the hedge funds being the leaders in that market now, middlemen and you know, Bitcoin people and things of that nature. They're trying to, you know, create some balance in that area in the stock market. So the stock market is doing this thing per se, as far as, you know, building and the numbers and not being really impacted overall by the pandemic and what the pandemic has done to the economic stability of the nation. We see that, you know, there are some areas in the country that still haven't really recovered, and they're still trying to deal with COVID as well as deal with, you know, food insecurity and things of that nature that, you know, most people didn't really go through because people trying to hold on to their coins. So by passing this stimulus bill, there's a lot of things within this bill that will be very beneficial to families, you know what I'm saying? The way that they're going to levy out the money this time, it's more money than the first time where it was $1,200 per person, $600 per kid. This one is $1,400 per child and individual. And then there are some caveats in it to where if you have an adult child that you claim, you know what I mean, as a dependent, you'll also get a payment for that. And then along with that, they also have the child tax credit, which was usually done when you done your taxes. So it was a lump sum that you accrued through your yearly tax payment, and then they gave it back to you when you filed your taxes. But this time, what they implemented in the bill is that the tax credit will now be a monthly stipend that they will give to parents. It will still break down in the same amount. I think it's like $3,600. There's a means test to it, but there's also an age range means test to it, meaning like if the child is 0 to 6, right? It'll be a certain amount for that child, and then children 6 to 17, it'll be a certain amount for them. So there's a lot of financial windfalls in these bills to help people out that struggling. A lot of people say this will benefit single mothers and things of that nature when it comes to the child tax credit, but married couples can get it as well. So they can benefit from it as well. So it's just not something that's geared towards a particular group. It's geared towards American families that make under $100,000. And I find all this to be really, a really big move for Biden, and the fact that he doesn't need the GOP to pass this legislation is also really big, seeing how we have the Senate, the Congress, and the White House that allows for this stimulus package to not be held up by Republican nonsense. Because, anytime a Democrat tries to do something this big or, this in this manner, it usually gets put in a situation like that. Peace, Miss FedEx. Thanks for coming to class today. Nah, sis, thank you. Good morning to you. I hope everything is well with you. Thank you for showing up. Please click the like, sis, if you can, and share the video if you can. Yes, sis, we're talking about the American Rescue Package that the Biden administration put forth and was just passed by the House Budget Committee 19 to 16. So now the legislation is on its way to other committees for amendments and things of that nature to see what goes into the bill. But there's no true opposition to the bill as far as the bill not being passed. The bill will be passed because the Democrats hold all three houses of government at this moment. So they're pretty much in control. And also we're in a position where they have the it's a procedure called reconciliation. And with reconciliation, what they can do is they can pass a supermajority. They don't need a supermajority to pass the bill. So, it's really no need for the Republican senators to put up a fight because, they have no leverage at all. Right there, they pretty much have their hands tied behind their back, not only with the balance of power, but also with that reconciliation adage to it, right? Because the reconciliation allows for them to go around the supermajority, as I said before. And this is really beneficial. I mean, you're going to get a lot of pushback from people, and they're going to make it seem like this is where they talk about socialism, and then you have people saying, oh, people who make $100,000, they don't really need this with giving money to the rich. But we all know, right? Like making $100,000 is making money, but in a market, in the goods and services, and you have a family, like once you pay your mortgage, your rent, or wherever you live at, you take care of your kids, your car note, that money is gone. It's, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not in a 2-parent household, or if you're one parent making that, and you're trying to hold down the family, I mean, it may look good on paper, but we all know that you may live comfortable, but you ain't rich. Like you ain't, you just can't quit your job tomorrow, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think when Republicans put out red herrings like that, they're really just trying to muddy the waters and make it seem like this will benefit people who really don't need it. But all American citizens need this money, right? Like this pandemic, the way America handled this pandemic, to me, it was just flawed from the gate. And now this new administration has to pick up the pieces because Trump wasn't going to be in a position to where, he knew that black people and minorities and people of that nature would benefit from him having a coherent message and a coherent strategy to deal with COVID, to deal with the economy. He didn't have a coherent message. It was like, he wanted to do piecemeal things and make it seem like he was doing something. But we all know that was just a drop in the bucket. You had some countries like Canada and some European countries where these people were getting financial help from the gate and continue to get it to this day where they set out a certain amount of money would be given to the citizens every month, to help them make it through. And the richest country in the nation shouldn't have had a problem with formulating a plan to do such a thing. But we seen that it was piecemeal. We had 2-step stimulus. We had the first one of $1,200, then the second one of $600. Just giving you little greasing your palms with little kibbles and bits. But people were very grateful for it. Like people wasn't like, oh man, I don't want it. People took it, right? But we all know it could have been, it should have been, and it will be more with this next stimulus. People trying to say, well, we all said 2,000, and they did some trickery by saying the 600 plus the 1,400 makes 2,000, and we all know that was some game. But $1,400 is $200 more than the 1,200, and it's also going to be per individual in your household. So if you claim your adult children, or you claim your mate, or you claim your children, you will receive $1,400 per person in your house that you claim on your taxes. And that's huge. A family of 4, that's $5,600. That's huge. You getting 6 stacks like that off the rip, right? That's huge. That can help. That can help a lot of families. And see, this is what I'm saying when people talk about peace, bro. What's good, bro? Big shout out to my man D. What's going on, Sweet Pea? Good morning. Please hit the like and share. But that's huge for a family of 4, and you're getting, 55, you're getting close to $6,000 in a lump sum to help you and your family get through it. And it's coming along where people are also getting their income tax checks back, right? So you can put a nice little piece away and handle some things. And then, they're starting to come up with ways to deal with COVID. So now we might be outside a little bit. Yeah, it's supposed to be voted on there. They voted on it today, right? They're going to vote on it by Friday, Books. They're going to vote on it. They're going to have the vote on by Friday, and they hope to have the bill on Biden's desk by the 14th, and they hope for the checks to start going out by the end of the month. So most people will get it between like the 21st and the 1st of the month, and then everyone else will get it in April. People who get paper checks, they'll get it in April. So right now it's just going through them piecing the bill together and putting amendments in and figuring out what amendments go in. Because, also that's a part of the bill is the $15 minimum wage, federal minimum wage. And that's huge, right? $15 federal minimum wage. So that's mean that's going to be across the board. I'm not sure if that part of the bill and that part of the amendment has been approved, but the stimulus part has been approved by the budget. So I'm not sure. I got to do some more research on whether or not the $15 minimum wage. Yeah. So, but at this point, it's just got to go to the House Rules Committee. You know what I'm saying? And once it goes to there, it'll be to the House, and then it'll get to the Senate, and then it'll get to the president's desk. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it is, right, most of the things in the bill are like bills. You know what I'm saying? Like they're laws. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if they're going to revisit this. I don't know if this is the last stimulus and they'll see what this stimulus does to the economy, because the word stimulus is just that. These are payments and these are things. What up, D? Good morning to you. Danini, good morning. Danini, good morning to the beautiful Danini in the building. You know what I'm saying? The queen of the Viper Pit, the co-queen of the Viper Pit. Tell Warren I said, what's up, Danini, if you talk to him today. And thank you for coming through, my sister. Real talk. So this is something that's going to, their hope to stimulate the economy. And once they get the feedback, and once they see this money and what it does to the economy, and if it spurs the economy, then, I think they'll make the decision on what's going to be the next move. Will there be stimulus package, or will they start talking about legislation, infrastructure, things of that nature? So right now they're just trying to get this passed. And I think this is huge. I mean, a lot of people may go against it, you know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I see we got a troll in the house. Hey, trolls. I love trolls. I love y'all. Like, it just showed me that I'm doing something right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get a troll, you get a hater. That means you're doing something right. So Bruce Wayne, whatever that means, holla. It's somebody from RBR channel that's mad because I don't even know who this would be. Like, but peace out and thanks for coming through, my brother. So back to what I was saying. So hopefully we'll see what this does to the economy, and hopefully those of you out there with children and those of you out there who really need this money, the stimulus will benefit you in the long run. And we could start talking about the things that the Biden administration are doing. And he hasn't even reached 100 days yet, right? So he's already passed the some bills that's going to help Americans out, right? Where you had a lot of people saying, he wasn't really going to help black people out or help this, what I mean? But this helps everybody, right? This helps everybody. Now, another thing that I was paying attention to along this line with this stimulus was the PPP loans. And those are the loans that small businesses can get, and help them out if they show that they're losing money during this pandemic, right? Now, the first two times the PPP loans were given out, they had a lot of restrictions. So a lot of minority businesses who had, or people who had felonies, things of that nature, you wasn't allowed to get it. Like you would disqualify from the gate. Peace, Kevin Kelly. What's going on, my brother? Peace to you. I gotta rinse some of y'all up, man. I gotta go to the what's name and rinse some of y'all up, man, because I need to get some mods in here, man. Because I don't want these creeps in here doing their nonsense. As soon as I get this together, I'm gonna get some mods, man, so that I don't have no creeper jeepers in here, because I can't have the RBR haters, you know what I'm saying? Because can't have that, or the weirdos, because it's a lot of weird people on YouTube. Like, it bugs me out, right? I be bugged out how people be trolls, and you went to jail. Like, who wakes up in the morning and come to somebody chat and be like, you went to jail, you're a child molester? Like, who does that? Like, how depraved and how lost of humanity and how just disengaged from life are you? Like, you have no friends, no parents, no kids, no nothing. Because if you wake up and you say, I'm gonna go to AC's channel and I'm gonna put in there, you went to jail, you a fat, like, that to me is like wow. Like, and you think you did something, like you think you really just did something. Yo, I'm gonna go to this channel and troll. Like, bro, you need to check yourself, because that ain't good. Like, I mean, especially somebody like you changed your name, you made a whole channel just to come and troll somebody. Like, bro, you need some pussy, you need a life, you need a girlfriend, you need some friends, you need a lot of things, and trolling ain't one of them. You need to put down the keyboard, right? Go outside, stretch, get some fresh air, you know what I'm saying? Maybe smoke you one, get you a shot or something, and if that ain't your twist, do something different. But being a troll and making a whole page to come and troll somebody, that ain't good, man. That ain't good. That's a bad look. That's a bad look. But I gotta get me some mods in here. Peace, Triple OG. Thanks for coming through. Books. Because they put it that way, books, so that the states who can, because a lot of states can't afford businesses that's my thing. How are they going to get the southern states and the states that don't really have that high level of living, expenses? How are they going to translate that where they live at? How are they going to accrue the kind of businesses, or what they're going to raise the prices, or they're going to taxes, or whatever they're going to do to alter having to pay $15 an hour minimum wage if you're a small business, or if you're like a McDonald's or something. Like, that's going to be crazy. I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do that. That's going to be a real, I guess they figured it out because they already passed it, but how states integrate themselves, because it's going to be a federally mandated law. So how states integrate themselves, that's going to be real. That's going to be real fun to see, or how they do it. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's why they're waiting so long to do it. But yeah, man, we got to get the trolls out of here, man. But yo, another thing I want to talk about. Back to the PPP. I'm sorry, I don't want to. Now, what Biden did with these PPPs, he made sure, right, that he linked up with black banks, right? And he changed all the requirements. Like, the felony requirement was taken out. As long as you don't have a non-fraudulent felony, you know what I'm saying? Now you qualify. He put it to where he worked with black-owned banks and black-owned finance structures to make sure that they have the right information, so when the people come in, they can walk the people through the process. So he made the process a little more seamless for black businesses, because they realized after reviewing the first two loans, right? The first two stages of the loans, black businesses were like left out. You know what I'm saying? We were like a minuscule amount of the businesses that received the loans. So what he has done with this financial package, with the ARP packages, he's put in incentives and he's put in different rules and regulations that will allow and be more beneficial to small black minority businesses, and where they're getting the one-on-one resources and the one-on-one consultations that they need to make sure that they can understand the process. Because, you know, trying to get a loan in the process can be really arduous and really hard and things of that nature. So what they've done is they've incentivized these financial services to help, you know, black owned businesses get through the process a lot better. And for me, that's a huge step. Like, these are the things that will help black people and are getting it together, right? This is where voting and things of that nature pay dividends, to where administration comes in and they create policies and create legislation that seeks black businesses and helps them, you know, get the information and get the resources that they need to be successful and compete in a global market. And that's huge. And that's what we need to talk about. Those are the things that we need to talk about when we talk about legislation. Now, we can have the beef about, you know, whether the progressive side or whether the right side is influencing his bills. I mean, when you're in that position, that's what happens. But with this particular legislation, it's not influenced by the right or the left. They tried to work with them. The right didn't want to do anything. So Biden administration just went on and pushed it through. Nancy Pelosi voted on it this morning. So now in the end of March, a lot of y'all will be getting the checks and things will be good. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. So I hope that this is something, you know, Biden can be he can be rewarded for, or he can, you know, be, you know, get the what's in it, get the you know, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm glad. Right. But the second thing I want to talk about, in my state of New Jersey, they finally legalized marijuana. It was being held up. The voters voted on it in November. Right. We voted to legalize marijuana in November. And so it passed. But there was some wrangling with, you know, the bill being executed. And you know, the crazy part about it is, this is how crazy right shit is. Right. Even though the bill was passed, right, by law, and the voters voted on it, the fact that it wasn't signed by the governor, you still had police departments that was arresting people for marijuana. Even knowing, now the prosecutors and attorney generals was saying, like, listen, man, we ain't really taking on no marijuana cases. But the police departments was like, well, if you don't take them on, our municipal counties will take them on. That's crazy. But they was just trying to squeeze their last little bit of hate and they last little bit of the war on drugs. They was trying to squeeze the last little bit out of that turnip. Like, we going till y'all sign that bill, we gonna keep putting the pressure. I mean, they literally knew that the law was passed by citizens. They voted on it, and they just was like, I mean, that's just racism at its best, man. That's crazy to me. Like, and the crazy part about it is, where no one can step in and say, look, man, like that, you being petty, because that's petty. If the citizens voted on something and it passed overwhelmingly, and the only problem is it's having wrangle in the legislative body and assembly about, you know, how will it be implemented to minors, and how will we citate minors and give minor citations for marijuana possession, because it's regulated for adults. The law was passed for people 18 and older. So anyone 18 and younger, 17 and younger, they shouldn't participate. They're prohibited from smoking marijuana in public places. So the wrangle was, how do you figure out what's going on? Well, Sweet Pea, the good thing about illegal weed in America is this, Sweet Pea. The thing is, drugs becoming illegal in America, legal and illegal in America, was basically to keep us, to imprison us, to use it to make us this cannon fodder for the prison industry. They called it the war on drugs, right? And what happened was, the government was the ones going to the nations that had the drugs and starting little fake wars and little proxy wars, and using that as a means to take the drugs out of the country. Central America, Bolivia, Panama, Ecuador, the list goes on and on, right? That's when we fighting, you know what I mean, what's his name, Pablo Escobar and all that, right? Manuel Noriega, because Noriega was an international drug dealer, right? So when we went into these countries, we really went into the countries to start the crack epidemic, because going into Panama, if you look at the timeline, the Iran-Contra affair, if you look at the timeline of any of our little proxy wars going into other foreign lands, you can see the trajectory, or you can see the timeline of them bringing the drugs back, put it in our community, mayhem and havoc and crack era and all this, the dope era with the 70s, you know what I mean? So those measures to lock us up and to make things illegal was against us. So making weed legal takes that pressure off us with that war on drugs, and gets these police departments and all these drug enforcement agencies off our back and not locking us up and using us as you know, as a parasitic relationship to give them jobs, right? Because if you got kids who want to be lawyers and doctors, and lawyers and cops and shit like that, and they want to take it to the federal level, they usually use black communities to train them, right? So they use the drug DAA and all that shit, and federal courts, and they come in the hood and they lock people up for drugs, right? Because it's a federal crime. So that's why it's important to legalize these things, because now there's a market. And in New Jersey, the incentive was that the dispensaries would go to majority black and brown people, right? Like the white people ain't going to dominate the game. Now they're going to maneuver their way in and find ways to use their use investment banks and use hedge funds to come in and have the money to start right now. But the majority of the dispensaries have to be in urban centers, whether it's owned by a white person or a black person, and they have to employ people from the environment. So what it is basically it's just basically social justice turned into financial incentive, right? And it's created an environment where the economics will now be with us, where it's not just controlled by white people and we're not going to jail for it. We can actually make money and have businesses selling marijuana. So that's why it's a good thing to legalize marijuana, especially seeing how the war on drugs impacted black people the worst. So just to give you kind of an American backstory on why you have a marijuana legalization being such a tour de force that it is right now. Yeah. See, the thing is, medical marijuana has been around for a couple, years now, right? But with that, you had to have a prescription, you had to have a card, a medical card. So you had to apply for it, and you had to have certain medical conditions that allowed you to be, what's the name for the card, to be qualified for the card, right? Where with you don't need a car, you don't need any of that. As long as you're an adult over 18, you can have a particular amount. It's a particular amount you can have on your person. You can have a certain amount of plants at your house, right? So, it's not the same as medical marijuana in the sense of it's not controlled by you having a particular ailment. Like now anybody can get it. So, it's a lot of states that have medical marijuana that's trying to transition into marijuana legalization. I think it's a huge step. And see, another thing is with the New Jersey bill, it was the governor did a lot of things with this bill. Like it was like the bill didn't pass through legislation because he wanted to put a lot of measures in it that would just white people record clean, things of that nature. So of course the Republicans rejected all that. Like, you ain't about to give no freedom. You ain't about to change their lives. You ain't about to make them equal. And all this goes back to the conversations we've been having every day about what, true oppression is and what it's about, where it's more about their survival and not really, harming us in the sense of they set out to harm us, but they're just setting out to survive. So if you allow me to not have a criminal record and I can go out and compete on an equitable field with you, then the chances are I'm going to be successful and you can't hinder that. So the Republicans pushed back on the reformative ideas and the formative criminal justice ideas in the bill. They didn't want the reform. They didn't want the expungements of records automatically. So what he did was in December of 2019, he created a separate legislation, a separate executive order where they couldn't do anything, where the legislation and the assembly couldn't stop it. to where he created the second chance law, where your shit is automatically, all marijuana convictions are automatically expunged from your record. Gone. Bingo. He created a task force to do it, and he also created a task force to allow people who have more than one felony on their record to have their record expunged if they haven't committed any crimes in the last 10 years. So if you've been clean like I have for the last 10 years, everything that I've done in the past will be automatically taken off my record once I put my name in a database. Now, I'm waiting for them the COVID thing kind of slowed it up. So me and my lawyer just waiting to hear back from them. But once I put my name in the system, everything that I've done in the past will be wiped clean. And that's huge. That's huge. And this is a Democratic governor that's doing this. So when people say, what are the Democrats doing? And they poo-poo the Democratic Party, I think y'all need to start poo-pooing the federal Democratic Party. But I think there's a lot of state legislative bodies, a lot of Democratic legislative bodies that is doing a lot of wonderful legislation to impact the lives of black people specifically. Because this law that I'm talking about in New Jersey is specific. Like, I can go be a teacher now. I can go do a lot. And I'm not saying a white man held me back, because I committed those crimes like nobody else. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of my criminal activity at all. It was a weak moment in my life. It was me being young, immature, not believing in myself, lacking the confidence that I could go out and do something else. So because I learned this little quick, slick way to get some money, I thought that, I can use my brilliance to do it, and it didn't pan out for me. I mean, I made money, I was successful, but the damage that I did to my kids and my family and my reputation wasn't worth not $1 that I made. But, with the way things are going in our nation, a lot of people, a lot of Democrats and a lot of smart people are waking up to the idea that we can't hold these things over people's lives forever. If people made mistakes and they turn their lives around, then, it need to change in another way. Peace, Simply D. Thanks for coming through. Please hit the like button when you're coming through. Please, people, hit the like and share button if you can. I'm talking about some major legislation that's been passed both locally and federally. I first started talking about the American Rescue Package, which is basically Joe Biden's law, $1.9 trillion package, federal stimulus package that he passed recently today, 1916, in the budget committee. So hopefully it'll be on his desk by the 14th of March, and everybody will start receiving a certain amount of money around the end of March going into later spring, which is huge. And then I was also talking about in my state of New Jersey how the governor signed yesterday that weed is now actually legal in the state of New Jersey, and now there'll be some retroactive expungements of people records that have marijuana convictions, and now some of the other reformative justice measures that he put in will now also start kicking in, and people will be able to reclaim their lives and start to get careers and do things that they were put here to do and live up to their best potential, even through the mistakes that they made. And I think that's huge. And this is where we need to start talking about political parties and how they are really influential in bills and what they can do for the black community. This is the tangibles that people talk about, right? Giving me an opportunity to live past my failures and live past my mistakes that's reformative justice. That's the tangible things that we hear a lot of anti the Democrat Party speak black people say, right? We hear that a lot of times from the left and the right, black people, right? Far left, far right, where they're like, the Democratic Party is not really for me, or they're not doing anything for me. And these are two huge measures that show that some Democrats are starting to figure out about reformative justice and things of that nature. So now, I guess in a few years, we're going to start hearing the ideas of reparations and see how far that go. I think that for me, I'm starting to get this, I'm starting to try to formulate this idea that if reparations start at a local level and local communities and local governments start dealing with some level of economic and business related and educational related and health related reparations as far as providing health measures that improve the health prospects of black people, economic measures that improve the financial security of black people as far as loans, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would be incumbent upon us to start looking more into how local and federal governments get down. So yeah, that's basically it on those two fronts. I also wanted to talk about like, I noticed like in Black America, right? We always wonder what our problem is, why we not this or why we not where we at, right? Why we not successful and why we have such crime in our communities, and we blame single mothers and we blame broken homes and we blame a lot of things for that. And to some extent, some of those things are contributing factors. They're not all the major factors. They're not all the catalyst to everything, but it's valid that some of those things play a huge part in why we have the level of dysfunction that we have in our community. But I identified two other reasons why we have such fucked up shit in our community. Excuse my language. I'm gonna try not to curse. I'm gonna try to curse less and speak proper more and be more coherent with my words and articulate more and take some of the cursing out so people can really benefit from what I'm saying. But what I realize is, when being in these spaces, living my life and being black and being in black spaces and having a business, what I've understood is black people, we don't have a basic respect for each other, right? Like a basic respect, just like a basic, when I see another black person, I see a human being, right? Like when we see each other, we don't necessarily see human beings. We see these objects, right? We see these objects that we have a distorted view of, in my opinion. And I'm just trying to understand, how can we deal with that? How can we deal with the just lack of human respect that we have for each other as people? I mean, and I'm guilty of it, and that's why I'm speaking about it. I'm guilty of it, and it's not that I don't see people as humans, because I do see people as humans. Like, I don't think that I don't see others as human beings, because I do. But my thing is, we're just too quick to just diss each other, just come at each other crazy, just say whatever we want to say. And to me, I need to understand where that comes from. And it comes from us not understanding that hating on each other will only continue the madness. It will not change. And we can't hide and act like when we take shots at each other, or we demean each other, or we try to belittle each other, like, we can't pretend that that's not hate. We can't pretend that's not a level of jealousy, right? A level of insecurity on our part, that we see something special in another individual that we may not have, and we don't want to see that person shine because we don't have it. Like, to me, that's troubling. That's very troubling, right? Because I've noticed a lot of times while going spaces, it's like people are intimidated by me, or people may feel a certain way about me and don't even know me, and be like, and label me this, that, and the third, right? And try to make me less than them, or try to make it seem like I'm unworthy of being listened to, or what I'm saying is not valid because I don't fit this particular description. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's crazy, because I think it started in the 50s and 60s, sweet pea. I think it started earlier than that. I think it's a gatekeeper thing, right? And I think it's fear, right? It's fear that you may have something that I don't have, and if you go out there, then I may never get my chance, right? Like you're gonna ruin my chance because you have it all. So I'm gonna seek to demean you, and I'm going to seek to belittle you, so that when you do get out there, I've already muddied the waters. Like black people, we master that shit. Like that's what we're seeing with Kevin Samuels. We're seeing people put rocks and shit in front of him to trip him up and all this. And I simply say this, I don't hate the man. I don't have no beef with what the man doing. I just simply say I don't need his products. I don't need his services, but peace to the brother, right? But I'm watching people put bricks in front of him and trip him up and, you know, just because they didn't get there, because they don't have the work ethic, because they don't have the quality, right? They wasn't able to fake it till they made it. They haven't figured out how to maneuver and consume all the information and consume all the efforts and things that you need to do to be successful. But it just seems like we feel so comfortable with demeaning each other and making sure you don't make it. And people say it's a crab in a barrel mentality. Yeah, I understand that, but it's deeper than a crab in a barrel mentality. It's a psyche. Right? Like it's an automatic switch. It's like breathing with us. It's like it's easier for us to trip up our brothers and sisters than it is to say, thank you, you're welcome, keep doing what you're doing, I got your back. Like any resemblance of authenticity or genuine love and concern, you know what I'm saying? It's like a weakness. It's seen as a sign of weakness. It's like you're supposed to be a predator. You're supposed to make sure you hate on your brothers and sisters. You're never supposed to co-sign a black person's aspirations. It's like they gotta prove to you that they're worthy of your support. Peace, Carolyn Lowe. Thank you for coming in, my love. I appreciate you showing up. Yo, please hit the like and share button, everybody. I hope everybody doing good. Everybody take a deep breath and a stretch. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a Tuesday chop it up, y'all. That's all. I'm just chopping it up with y'all. I talked about some political things and things of that nature. But this thing I'm talking about now, really, because it's important, because since I've been in this space, I've noticed that's what I go through. Like I'll be somewhere and I'll be kicking it, and just somebody will just come and just be like, just try to undermine me or just hate on me for nothing. And I'm like, I don't even know you. I've never dealt with you a day in my life. Or kick it with me and then, you know, turn on me. I don't went through that. And I'm trying to, and this is not being done in a Pookie and Ray Ray setting. This is being done in a setting where people are supposed to be above that level. I mean, these are people who are in their 40s and 50s just on some hating shit. Like just haters. Just feel comfortable coming at us. And see, black people, I'm saying all this to say this. We gotta stop letting motherfuckers do that shit. See, we need a drop squad. See, like, we need to make sure that the William O'Neills and the people that I talked about on yesterday's episode, we need to make sure that when we see people that do that, there's consequences to that. There has to be consequences for the haters. We just can't keep saying, if you got haters, you know how that saying, if you got haters, you know, celebrate the haters, blah, blah. We can't keep saying that because our haters are growing. They're multiplying. They're like baby's kids. Like, we got to shut the haters down. We can't have the haters in the space. We can't have people that hate intelligent conversation because they can't do it. We gotta shut down the haters of people who pretend to be cool with you, and because they see you getting a modicum of success and they see that you have some level of appreciation from people, that they want to demean you and knock you because they can't figure out how to get that same thing. We have to put in a situation where there's consequences for being a hater in the black community. There's consequences for being a scammer in the black community. See, there is no consequences for harming the black community. The cops do it. The government do it. We do it. See, I've watched black people kill black people and get 6-7 years. I've watched black people just maybe abuse a white person. I seen a mentally ill black woman, right, be minding her business, got smacked by a white woman. She beat the brakes off the white woman and she went to prison for like 6 years. And the white woman started the fight. But I've seen black people kill black people and get 5 years. Because there is no consequence to harming us. Because when we're not seen as human beings. We're seen as a problem, dysfunctional, in my way, not worthy, right? Not human. Our children are seen that way. Our women are seen that way. Our men are seen that way. The whole damn family is seen as a problem. If we got it together and we pull up on a place where the white people may not have it together, they hate on us. If we got it together and we pull up in a community where black people may not have it together, they hate on us. I remember one time I was at a chicken joint and I pulled out a big ass wad of money, right? Now the dude who's taking my money, Arab chicken spot, right? Man, him always cool and shit. But when he see me pull out this big wad of money, he was like, damn. How this black man got more money than me? Like his whole mood changed. And I felt it. Like, damn, I work hard, motherfucker. You can come out here and cut grass with me if you want. You ain't got to hate on me. But it was just like he felt I didn't deserve to have that. He didn't even know how hard I worked to get it. He just felt like the world has taught me he ain't supposed to have that. His means are supposed to be meager. And I'm here to get more than what he got. They are, y'all. They multiplying like baby's kids. Go in any space and you just see the haters. If you pull up to the chat, if you don't think like that, motherfuckers just start hating on you, talking crazy. Buster Free, my brother, what's good with you, bro? Thanks for coming through, bro. Hit the like button if you can, bro. Or when you way in or out, you know, it's up to you, my brother. I know you down with me, so I ain't even worried about that. I know you, squad. I ain't even worried about that. But the hate is real, and I don't understand it because hating on someone only consumes you. That's why I'm not a hater, because I've watched what hating can do. I've seen niggas who are haters and they stop their progress and then they got to do some other fuck shit to just make it. But if they stop hating, they just will open up to them and they'll be, forgiven. Because sometimes the haters can hold you back and you don't even know. Like, you going through shit like, damn, man, why she can't get it together? Because you got so many haters that's staring at you and that's watching everything you do and they wishing for your downfall. Because if you got something that a person don't got and they can see you a shining star, they're going to do everything in their power to dim your light. Peace Hooded One, thanks for coming through, bro. Right, Miss Karen, loving one. I told my friend that today. She was like, I don't know how to accept love, blah, blah, blah. I said, because I said this to her because I was talking to myself. The one thing that I'm learning about me is I've always had the expectation of how others were supposed to love me and what I wanted from others in love, right? But I can't expect nothing from people that I'm not giving myself. So when you hating on somebody, that's because you hate yourself. So if you stop hating yourself and you start loving yourself, then that hate, that residue, that hate eventually start fading away. But it begins with loving yourself. It begins with accepting yourself, no matter what your state is. And then you work from there. It's a building block. It's a building block. But we gotta get some measure of consequences for the haters. Right. Like, it's so bad now when you can't even tell people your life intentions. You got to keep everything to the breast. You can't even share your dreams and your goals in black environments because motherfuckers going to pray for your downfall. And this has been going on. But the reason why it's going on is because there are no repercussions for the haters. And most of them hate from afar, so you really never know who they are. But when they do show up, they know they can show up in all they hater flair and just be haters and nobody say nothing. Just let them hate. Nah, y'all. We got to stop the haters. The haters got to be on the radar. We got to make sure we get the haters out because those those Judas that we see that brought down our great messiahs and our great leaders, they suckers was haters. Y'all can't tell me you watch the body language of William O'Neal, you ain't see that weak ass letter that cop wrote. He a hater. He was a hater. He hated on Malcolm X. He hated on those because he had to go and be a goddamn puppy. You do what I tell you, boy. And he hated on that free black man that he seen, Malcolm X, who wasn't controlled by nobody, who feared no one, who even faced down his own crew. When you turn a motherfucker, you rat on motherfuckers, they haters. I need y'all to listen to a motherfucker's channel that talked about me yesterday, and I need y'all to listen really clear to the hater. And they said they didn't do this, they wasn't a rat. But listen to how they tried to rat on me and say, oh, well, this is who he is, and he's gonna do that, and he's so you think he didn't do that to a motherfucker with the life on the line? But he gets to continue to be a hater because nobody makes him pay the price for being a hater. I had a person call me last night, one of my boys, right, of my crew, and that shit felt so good. He was like, bro, I just called to check on you, man. What's good with you? And people always, my other niggas in the crew always hating on this nigga. And I be like, man, stop hating on that nigga, man. Just because that nigga is the Don Dada, that nigga been the Don Dada. Just because that nigga move better than us, we can't hate on that man. I remember on my birthday, I told that nigga I was drunk. I had drank me a fifth, a big ass bottle of Bel Air, and I was kicking it with him. And I told him, I said, bro, I'm so proud of you, man. I said, everywhere I go, I champion you. And people be like, man, get off his. I'm not. This man that came from shit, and I watched this man become the fucking Don Dada. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna hate on that man. Word up, Kevin Kelly. A few of them. And it's just hate. Because they like, yo, if he get it together, he get his camera together, he get his mic together, he be consistent, he might make something of himself over here. But to stop my progress, they want to promote me as something that I'm not, out of hate. That troll was a hater. That person don't know me. I ain't no hater, y'all. But we gotta address the haters. We gotta address the people that think it's okay to come at African Americans and talk shit to us and point the finger at us and hate on us and try to tell us we this, that. We got to get that shit together, folks. Because that's the shit that's undermining our trajectory and our success. The hate, we see it on our show. We see it on the Real Housewives of this. We see it on this. We see it on that. When black people are brought down, it's usually a hater at the motherfucking rope, pulling the rope. A hater. And a hater usually looks like us. See, white haters set you up. They let you trip yourself up. Like what we're seeing with Kevin says, when people wake up, that's hate because they couldn't blow. And again, let me preface this. I've watched this show one fucking time just to see what Reginald was talking about. And the other day I noticed that he went and did a comedy skit with this family, and I just was seeing what the angle was with that. And I seen that what he's trying to do is diversify his portfolio and not be tied in to one genre, which is genius. Every once in a while I can go over here and bit people and allow them to mock me, right? Because that's what it is. Like when they brought him in, it was a funny mocking, but they used him to amplify their shit, and it amplifies him. So the people that brought him in, and that sister and brother comedy team that brought him in, they wasn't hating. But over here we got haters that's pretending to be allies, that's pretending to be for black people. No, they're fucking haters. Anybody that tell you I ain't black and I'm this and I'm native and I'm this and I'm that, they hate being black. So they're going to take all the pop shots they can at black people. And they're going to definitely hate on black people that love being black. When y'all see the haters, call them out. Don't let them hate. Don't let them hate on you. Don't let them hate on another black person that you see. Call them out. We got to start calling the haters out. We got to start making hate, being a hater. We got to start making that shit like a red flag, like a big ass mark on your head. If you're a hater, you can be easily identified. Now I'm about to say some controversial shit right now, but I'm just being honest. The one thing I see with the Islamic religion, whether you Sunni, Sufi, Shia, right? They don't take nobody hating on their shit. You ain't about to hate on them like that. You see how the motherfuckers in the European countries, the white European cartoonists who start talking that shit about Muhammad and writing, and drawing him and bringing his depiction to life. What happens to them people? Something bad usually happens to them, right? And you see it less and less and less, right? Because people understand the consequences of crossing that road, of hating on them people. Because they know it's a consequence. Like in Paris, in England, and they make examples out of them people that become for them. Right? Charlie Hebdo, I think it was Hebdo, right? And I'm not saying that we should take up the violence mantra, but what I'm saying, there needs to be an understanding that if we started letting people know that disrespecting us will not be tolerated, it will happen less and less and less. But we have to collectively stand together and fight against the haters. When that guy, if anybody in that guy's family that said the NYPD and the FBI helped kill Malcolm X, if anybody in that family knew prior to them putting out that letter that dude did that and they didn't turn him in or they didn't put him on blast, they haters too. And see, we can't give the haters refuge. We can't be like, oh, come over here, hater. We're gonna reform you. We gotta have to ostracize them, get them out the circle. Put them somewhere where their hate don't affect us. We can't have them in because they're a cancer. Look at that, right? In our face right now, in the last 5 or 6 years, we have been put in a position where we're told that black men are responsible for killing, responsible for helping white racist people and white racist federal organizations kill our greatest and brightest. In each scenario, Malcolm Martin, right? Fred Hampton, each scenario, there was a black man at the basis of their demise. Who couldn't face their own shit, so thought it would be easier to just go along and put it on somebody else, and now we got to live with the wreckage of that. And then they want to put out mea culpas to get some type of sympathy. I don't have no sympathy for none of them. I don't have no sympathy for a hater. Because only a hater will become a traitor. And I ain't trying to rhyme. That wasn't no impromptu bars being spit. Too many haters, folks. And the haters got the loudest voices and talk the most shit. And you know why? Because they trying to get past some guilt or some bullshit they done did what they hate. Because see, a hater a tell, a hater a rat. And then pretend, like, look at the great job all of them did. Right? William O'Neill, he had the Black Panthers fooled. The photographer dude had MLK fooled. See, only a photographer could take the pictures, and then you can look at the pictures, and then you can draw a linear line to say, okay, he gonna be here. You can follow where King goes with the pictures. So you sending pictures back of everybody. Walked into traffic and killed himself, Hooded One. And then Hooded One, this is the crazy part. If you watch the movie, if you watch Black Judas or you watch the documentary, right, and see how arrogant this motherfucker was. You could just see he was a hater. He was seething hater. His suit said hater. His posture said hater. He was a fucking hater. And when the guy asked him, what are you going to tell your son about being a fucking hater? He said, I'm going to tell my son I did the right thing. I was on the front lines. I was an activist. That's where Wikipedia got that goofball shit from, that he was an activist. He was a traitor. He was a hater. And when it finally dawned on him that he was a supreme hater, he couldn't live with himself. He wanted to feel, he walked out in traffic. He wanted that to be over instant. He couldn't do it no more. He was only 40 years old, but he realized that he spent the last 40 years of his life being a fucking hater. See, what haters don't know is the universe got something for you. But because they go unchecked, they don't think it's no consequences. But when little illnesses start popping up and they got to, live their life ambulant, right? They don't understand that that's the hate that created that shit. See, hate can create physical ailments as well. Just like being a loving, caring person can heal you, being a hater can kill you. But if we get them away from us and we let them take their hate somewhere else, then we don't got to be witness to their death, witness to any of that. But we got to get them out of the motherfucking midst. Yeah, Dwayne, I was talking about it yesterday. His cameraman was named Ernest Withers. He was a very good cameraman, but black people, he got caught up in some shit, thinking that communism was his thing, you know what I'm saying? And he compromised himself, and then compromising himself because he bought into a white way of life with that communist shit, and what he didn't understand was they wasn't going to allow for communism to be the apex of the black renaissance, right? Because communism would have allowed us to grow because we would have kept the money and the intelligence and everything within us. But you can't have communism in a capitalist society. Like, you can't co-opt communism and have that exist in a capitalistic society, because communism is anti-capitalism, because it's not about the profits, it's about the whole and bringing everything back to the whole. So he compromised himself. He got caught up, the feds got to him, and they used him to knock off MLK. What's good, Joe Doug? What's good, bro? Just chopping it up, man. It's this Chopping Up Tuesday, man. Talk to y'all Tuesday, man. And I'm just chopping it up about the haters. See, Joe, you've been around, so you've seen the haters, and you've asked me a few times, do I deal with this person anymore? Do I deal with, just out of concern for us and just out of you being a great guy, a genuine guy. You know what I'm saying? But you've seen me go through shit with people unnecessarily and then see underneath it was just hate. And then they tried to hide it and say it was something else, but it was just hate. Because the hate is real. It's real. And that's why we're not successful. And that's why a person like Kevin Samuels is successful, because he took himself out of the space where the hate can get him. Right? And then he got defenders, the O'Sheas, the Obsidians. You know what I mean? He got people who will take to absorb the shots of hate that he get. And then his rise also kind of keeps him above the fray. And see, I can't leave this space because I just started out, so I'm going to have to deal with the hate. I'm going to definitely have to deal with the hate. Because I ain't going nowhere. But I need y'all support, and I need y'all to make sure, that we bring love and peace and unity and a sense of learning over here. So I'm going to drop the link real quick, and chop it up for about 20 minutes. Might want to come up and talk about the hate, talk about anything I was talking about, the PPP loans, weed thing, books. Anybody want to come on, jump on. If you full of shit, please don't come to my live and be on some bullshit. So I'm gonna drop the link. Hopefully we'll get some good people up, and we can have a little conversation for the next half hour before I close it out. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link, and see what we can get into. Yeah, man, because the hate is real, man. That shit's starting to get on my motherfucking nerves, man. Like, that shit is just crazy. And you can't do nothing to them. Like, you just gotta take that shit and listen to that shit and just be like, damn, like, where do they make people at like that, right? And it's and 9 times out of 10, it's because most of these people put their eggs in the wrong basket, right? Trusting white people, trusting non-black people, assimilating and acculturating themselves and other cultures and shit, right? And then when they get rejected or they catch flack from those cultures, they want to come back and hate on us and tell us it's our fault. Like Bill Cosby's a fucking hater. And you see where he at. Fucking hater. Right? Like, you see where the haters end up at. Like, you can't be a hater, man. Like, you like, that shit don't benefit you. That shit is whack. Being a hater is fucking whack. So, yo, man, I dropped the link, man. If anybody want to come up for a few minutes, man, and just chop it up about the topics I was talking about. You know what I mean? If, it's Talk to 'em Tuesday, man. So if you got something you want to get off your chest, I'm here for it. But if not, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Tired as hell. That snow, fucking salt and trucks and all that shit getting on my nerves. I swear to God, I can't wait till March 1st. Because the chances of a snowstorm between March and April is minimal to none. Now, we might get 1 or 2, but they spaced out. But this back to back snow, the money is good, but the wear and tear on my trucks and my equipment, and oh man, that shit was nightmare. So yo, man, nobody coming up, man. If anybody want to come up, let me know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end this, man. I'd like to thank everybody for coming through, man. I think this was a nice little build. I got some things off my chest. I kind of highlighted what tangibles really mean when it comes to legislation and policy. And we're seeing some action from the Biden administration. I've seen some action from my governor in the state of New Jersey that will benefit my life. And as I grow and expand, I'll definitely be trying to utilize those new legislations to benefit me and do some of the things that I wanted to do in my life, like be a college professor. And hopefully now I can go ahead and pursue that. Not saying that, my criminal record would have stopped that. It would have just been a lot harder to accomplish that. But now it's less hurdles, less things that I have to be aware of, and things, less hurdles I have to come over, you know what I'm saying? So it'll give me more confidence in pursuing it, because that's something I want to do. So yo, man, this your man AC Star, man. Please hit the like and share button, man. Cash App, man. Help your boy out, man. Get this show popping, man, so I get some other things, man. Get a better computer. That's what I'm trying to do now. I don't really want to use the house funds, but I think I'm gonna have to, because I got this wonderful mic, but I can't download the drivers on my computer because it's just so full of junk and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta get a new computer at this point. So yo, man, I'd like to thank everybody for coming through, man. Miss FedEx, Joe Dub, Carolyn Lowe, my man Dwayne, my man Kevin Kelly in the building, Hooded One. I'd like to thank you for coming through and checking me out. Tim Harvey, as always. My girl Sweet Pea over in the motherland. My sister. My boy Renaissance Man. I thought he was going to come up, but he probably working hard today. So get that bread, brother. Keep making corporate America see your strength and you shining star. My man Triple OG, he done went to lunch. Triple OG, man, I know you listening from the clouds, man. Give me a fruit cup, man. Let me get a fruit cup or something, man. Grilled cheese sandwich or something, man. Tomato soup or something, bro. So, yo, man, y'all be good, man. This AC Star, man. Y'all know I need y'all to do 3 things, man. I need y'all to be good, love yourself, and stay safe. Peace. I'm out.